Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I'm going to be talking to you all about how law school can change your life. There's going to be tons of different things, tons of different ways this video is going to go, and I don't really have a predetermined list like I usually do, so we'll just see. So jumping right in, the first thing that I want you to think about is where you are right now in your life or how you grew up, right? And think about if anything that you could change about that, what would it be? And I'm going to take from some of my clients' experiences and talk about those and put those into the video and talk about just different things that I've seen from the hundreds of different clients, right? So let's say, for example, you grew up in a lower socioeconomic status. And one of the reasons that you're thinking about going to law school, why law school is the goal, because you recognize that there are a myriad of possibilities of different directions that you can take your legal degree, so that when you are ready to have your family, that when you're ready to really start your life, that you don't have to grow up or raise your children or any longer be in a lower socioeconomic status, and you're also able to take your family or help your family out of that lower socioeconomic status, right? And that is a reality of law school or of a legal degree when you go into the career that you want, right? That can give you enough money to take you out of that predicament or circumstance that you were born into, right? And so law school can change your life in so many different ways, and this is especially one of the most prominent ones that I see come up a lot with people who are born into these lower socioeconomic statuses, and they're trying to think, okay, I want to be practical. And this is how you should think, right? Like, let's be practical, especially if you're going to be taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to go to college. I mean, whew, that's a whole different video. But then also to go to law school, right? You want to make sure that you're going to get a good return on your money, right? You're always thinking about return on investment. And so law school can get you that. You can graduate and you can go into careers making you six figures. And when I say six figures, I think everyone just immediately thinks $100,000, and that is super valid. My camera's gonna die, so I'm going to have to go get my other battery. And that is super valid, but also not just six figures even, but also all the way up to like 300,000, 400,000, 500,000. Now, of course, those jobs are usually more, you're thinking big law, right? Because coming out right now, the big law starting salary is $225,000. Now, of course, that's fantastic. If you choose to stay in big law for a few years and go up to a fourth or fifth year associate, you're going up to around 400,000, 500,000. Some people watching this video, maybe some of you have dreams of becoming partner. Maybe you don't become partner at a big law firm, maybe you do. Maybe you transition to a smaller firm or a boutique law firm, but regardless, right? That is a concrete way for you to take yourself out of that lower socioeconomic status or change your life. Use law school to change your life. And of course, like, it's not just firms, right? Even if you go into government, like even if you go into honors programs, maybe you want to be an attorney for the Department of Justice, maybe the SEC, maybe CFPB, right? So many different acronyms I can use here. But, and I don't know if you know this, but government, you're paid on a government scale. And so when I was a federal law clerk, I was paid on a government scale. And each year that you progress out of your career, progress in your career coming out of law school, you're getting paid and you're getting an incremental increase on that salary. And it's not a terrible salary. It is not a terrible salary, you know? It's more than the average American is making. So you're making 70,000, 80,000, and that's first and second year out. And then as you progress, you get up to the 100,000. That's still probably more money than, you know, maybe your parents combined or one of your parents made because you grew up in that lower socioeconomic status. And so that's going to make a big difference in your life and in your career. Other things how you can use law school to change your life is maybe you want to start your own firm, right? And so that is starting a business. And so of course that involves like learning the mechanics, the fundamentals of starting a business, but also plenty of solo business owners bring in millions, right? Bring in millions as a solo business owner. Maybe you decide to go into a boutique law firm or a smaller law firm. Either way, it's just so many different career options and career opportunities for you to carry yourself out of, carry your family out of, and your future family out of that lower socioeconomic status. There's also going in-house, right? So that's working on an in-house legal team for a Fortune 500 company or not, for any company, and helping that company do contract work or go into negotiations or just different things along those lines, right? So not only are you talking about changing your life in the sense of money, right, changing your economic status, but it's also career freedom and flexibility, right? Because you do have the ability to choose which career path you take, right? You can go big law if you right? So it's more complicated than just I'm gonna go big law, of course, and I have videos on that. It's, you know, you need to be at the school that can make that a possibility for you. Big law is notoriously difficult to land. You want to make sure that you're doing all those things at the application stage. But putting all of that aside for now, right, the career freedom and flexibility to choose big law, to choose, you know, in-house, small firms, boutique law firms, medium firms, or maybe even just taking it and completely going a different direction, right? So academia, law professor, in the future, maybe a judge, maybe you're thinking about politics, right? And so you're changing your life because you're not, yes, money, but also you're not just stuck, right? You're not stuck because you have so many options. A legal degree can give you so many options. You have so many different things to choose from and so many different ways that you can progress in your career. And so if you ever feel like, well, I don't want to do this anymore, you probably don't have to, right? And so even if you grew up seeing like people just living unhappy lives or just feeling like, oh my gosh, I have to stay here. One of the things that law school and your JD can do for you is give you that freedom so that that doesn't have to be you. And of course, with that, you want to also make sure that you aren't, how do I say this? You are not attaching yourself to the golden handcuffs, okay? And the golden handcuffs, let me know if you want me to do an entirely separate video on it, but basically what the golden handcuffs are is if you go into these big law jobs or you go into these really, really high paying jobs and you level up, right? So like you move up your lifestyle so much that it does kind of tie you to jobs, tie you to big law, paying you that much because you changed your lifestyle so much to match the amount of money you're making there, 300,000, 400,000, so that when you do get tired of it, when you don't want to be there anymore, you are stuck, even if just for a little bit, because you've moved your lifestyle up so much to match that amount of money that you have to stay there. And so you do want to make sure you avoid those golden handcuffs. And again, let me know if you want a video on that, right? And so those are two ways immediately that law school can change your life. You're thinking about your socioeconomic status, you're thinking about career freedom and flexibility, but also a lot of you guys can just think a little bit broader, right? Think about what it can do for other people, right? And I think a lot of people, one of the main reasons, at least I know definitely for me, that you want to go to law school, because yes, it's for yourself, and that's so important. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, but it's also for others. There's also this intrinsic part of you that wants to give back to others, that wants to feel like you are a part of something more, that wants to feel like you've made a difference or you've made an imprint on the world, and that's good, right? And that's valuable, and that's why we need attorneys. And law school, of course, it allows you to do that. It allows you to go become this big name person who's, you know, making a difference on the world. It allows you to have that level of influence. It allows you to do all these different things, right? And so if you choose the career in politics, or you just choose to be like a speaker, or you choose to be a professor, or whatever it may be, right, you are giving back. And of course, those aren't the only ways to give back. You can, you know, use your money. So even if you are a big law attorney, someone's got to make the money to give it back, okay? Like someone's got to have the money to donate to the candidates that we need to win. Somebody's going to, and if it's going to be you, then it's going to be you, right? And so thinking about on a broader scale how your JD, how law school will allow you to have that impact, right? Someone who has a ton of money or someone who has a ton of influence is going to be able to make a larger impact than someone who doesn't. And law school can get that for you, right? And so that's just another thing that you can think about as, you know, using law school to not only change your life, but also to change the lives of others. And again, when you're also thinking about, so let me recap what we've covered so far. We've covered number one, like money. Law school can change your life because of the money. Number two, career freedom and flexibility, right? And then number three, it will allow you to change the lives of others. And I said I wasn't going to do a list, and look at here I am giving you guys a list. I can't help myself. I did not write a list down, and I'm still here giving you guys a list. Like, Literally cannot help myself. Okay, but that's because it helps you guys follow along. It helps you stay on track with what I'm talking about in the video. So, okay, number 4, when you're thinking about how law school can change your life, is how it can change your life immediately, right? So in the here and now. So those first 3 steps were kind of as you're thinking further along the line, further down the line once you graduated. But also, I don't think a lot of people realize that law school can change your life immediately. And what I'm talking about is discipline, right? So when you're applying to law school, when you're going through the process, that takes discipline. Studying for the LSAT, it requires discipline. You have to sit down for 5, 10, 15, 20 hours a week, depending on when you start, depending on where you are in the cycle, depending on where you need to go, right? So discipline, you have to learn that discipline, and it teaches you that, and you're going to succeed. You're going to be a better student. You're going to be a better attorney from developing that discipline early on in your career. So, right, so that's the first thing. Second thing is also time management. So I think this is so important, especially if you're applying to law school as an older applicant, as a non-traditional applicant, or you just got other things going on in your life. So you're working full-time, you're going to school full-time, maybe you've got, some of my clients have kids. Actually, multiple of my clients have kids. So 2 clients who are coming to mind right now, both of them have 2 kids, and they're young kids. And so they require a lot of time and attention, right? And so you're balancing your family with applying to law school, and you're making sure that you're doing the right things so that you can get into a good law school. And these are all excellent time management skills that are only going to serve you better when you're actually an attorney, and just in life. Like just in life, because it's like, you know, once you get into law school, it's like, oh my goodness, like what did I get myself into? But you're doing it, and you know you can do it because you've already benefited from that prep that you were doing at the application stage, right? And so taking that to not only benefit you currently, but also in law school, and then once you're outside of law school. So the other ways that you're benefiting immediately, which I like to talk about a lot, is investments, right? So you're learning the value of investing in yourself, and I hope all of you guys watching this video are doing that. So when you're thinking about your life and your career, I think it's so easy to kind of just say, I don't really know if it's worth it, or I don't really know. But then, you know, we're so quick to spend money on the $30 Netflix subscription, or DoorDash, or Uber Eats, or whatever it may be, and we're more hesitant to spend money on the things that are actually going to benefit our lives in the long run. And so what this does immediately is it forces you to think into the future, or at least I hope my videos do, so that you can see, how is this going to benefit my life in the future? How is this going to be a good return in the future? How am I benefiting myself in the long run? And this was something I learned. I talked about it on this channel before. You guys, if you haven't watched my video on my law school journey, how I got into Georgetown, I don't think I talked about it in that video, and maybe I should have, but there was a lot of investments that I had to make in order to make these things happen. And so it required me thinking into the future. Landing my federal clerkship required me thinking into the future, right? And so what you're doing now is it's benefiting you for a more successful future. It's helping you realize and see, like, okay, this is something I have to do right now. I have to make this happen right now, because it's only going to benefit me in the end. It's what's going to change my life in the end, right? So immediate tangible benefits also in that way. And then of course you have financial management, financial management benefits right now in the here and now, because law school, you have to figure out, okay, in what ways am I going to pay for law school? Scholarship, should I apply to them? Should I go out and find loans? Am I going to take out loans? If I'm taking out loans, how much am I taking out? How am I staying within my budget? How am I finding an apartment that is within what I can do for law school, right? And I'll probably do a whole video on that at some point soon, right? But then also like law school prep, LSAT prep, because you're probably gonna need a tutor if you can't increase your score. And so it's again like financial management, but also forcing you to think in the future, okay, like if I definitely need this so I can get into this top school, where can I cut back on in some other place, right? And so for me, I talked about this before, I believe on TikTok maybe, and in my newsletter, but it was, you know, I got a second job as a waitress on the weekend, and I was pulling in around $800 or so as a waitress on the weekend, right? And that was in addition to my main job, but it was something that I did because I had done the budgeting, I had done the financial skills, I had done like what I needed to have in order to make this thing successful for me. And I said, okay, how can I make this happen? Because this is an investment I need to make, right? So you're also learning, again, those financial skills immediately. So that's the other thing that you can think about on how law school can change your life. So I think that's number 4. That is number 4. So now we're gonna jump into number 5 of how law school can change your life. And this is actually just learning to think about more than immediate gain. And the reason why you want to think more than immediate gain is because law school is a long process, right? Law school is a long process because you have the application process, and then you have like the application prep process, right? So it's preparing for your application, and then you have the actual applying, right? And then you have the actual getting in, but then you have when you're in law school for the 3 years and succeeding while you're there, and then you have your actual career, right? And so putting everything together, it's easily, you know, a 4 to 6 year process depending on when you start and how long you do it, and if you have gap years and all of that. But that process, it's so important for you to start early enough so that you can really start thinking, okay, how am I going to make sure I'm doing the right steps? How am I going to know when I should be doing the right steps? How am I going to know what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and how to get it, and how to use it to get into a top law school? And actually, guys, if you're watching this video, I have a masterclass, which is actually called How to Use Law School to Change Your Life. And I'm going to give you those exact steps. So it's the process I use with my clients. It's for the masterclass, it's for both fall 2025 and 2026 applicants. And I'm gonna be telling you guys exactly what this step-by-step process looks like. And so it's what you should be doing now as a fall 2025 applicant to still make sure your application is airtight for the fall 2025 cycle. What you need to be doing now as a fall 2026 applicant to bulletproof your application for the next cycle. Concrete steps that you can take away and start applying. So there's no guesswork involved. I'm just gonna be giving you the straight information that I give to my clients. So if you're interested in joining that masterclass, the tickets are $35 and you will get access to both classes with one ticket. The masterclass is Monday, September 30th and Tuesday, October 1st at 8 p.m. Eastern. By buying your ticket, you will get access to the replays. So make sure you do that. I don't know when this video is gonna go live, but if it's close to the date and you're watching this, then make sure you go watch the masterclass, okay? And if you're watching this video after the masterclass has happened, then you can just shoot us an email saying masterclass replay, and then we will send you the link to purchase that replay if you didn't get to purchase your ticket. Okay, so again, immediate gain by forcing you to think about that process, right? So many things that you can use in your own application process that can help you along the way to get into a top law school. And I'm gonna give you all the details on that in our 60 to 90 minute masterclass. So that was number 5. Number 6, and probably the most important thing for how you can use law school to change your life, is your mindset. So, I mean, law school is literally unlike anything you will have ever done before. If you've done a grad program, it's different. Undergrad, different. Work, different. Law school is so different. It will change your mindset, just how you approach things. It will change how you think about things. It will change how you converse with people. And yes, in a way, I'm talking about like legal stuff, right? So approaching things like looking at both sides of the argument or looking at both sides of the opinion. So it's going to improve your argumentative skills. It's going to improve your communication skills, but also just on a more basic level, your mind just expands, right? Kind of just with everything. You realize it's like you're literally leveling up, and that's because you're in law school, right? And so that translates over into your mind, which then translates over into your life. You approach situations differently. You realize maybe, you know, people who you once meshed with, you don't necessarily mesh with anymore because there's been a lot of changes. And that's not always a bad thing, right? As you evolve, as you get older, as you learn more, you do change and your mind does change. And sometimes when other people don't make those evolutions like you do, it may not necessarily be a perfect fit anymore, but so your mindset changes. But also in law school, you're also going to meet so many amazing people. So this is number 7. You're going to meet so many amazing people. I am super close friends with lots of people still who I went to law school with. And I mean, those bonds are going to be unbreakable because you pretty much like suffered with them. You went through it all with them. It's amazing. And it's also going to be really nice to have people who are you know, on the same level. And I do put that in quotations because I don't mean like because you're not better than anyone, right? You're not better, no one's better than anyone. But what I really mean is you guys went through it together. You know what you went through. You're both attorneys, and so you can resonate a little more. You can relate a little more. You can talk about the law and they know what you're talking about. Talk about, you know, anonymously your clients and they know what you're talking about. And that's going to feel good because you're going to be able to let it out to people who understand what you're talking about. And also in the same breath, even people who you aren't super close with, you're going to have just a network. You're going to have know so many people in so many different places, and it's a really, really good thing. It's going to open up your professional network. It's going to open up your personal network. Some of you may meet your significant others while you're in law school, right? So just so many benefits as to how law school can change your life. It puts you into different doors. I just keep going on because there's so many benefits, guys. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna end the video here. Make sure you sign up for that masterclass. It's at toppingthecurve.com/masterclass. It will be the first link in the description box. Again, if you are watching this video before, then go ahead and grab your ticket now. If not, then go ahead and email us masterclass replay and we will allow you to purchase the replay. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're a law student or law school applicant and you're looking for coaching, go ahead and also just look at toppingthecurve.com with all of our coaching information. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below and let me know which tip was your favorite one. Okay, 1 through, did I give 7? I think it was 7 or 8. 1 through 7, okay, and why. I will see you guys on my next video. Share this with anyone you know who's applying to law school, thinking about law school, wanting to start law school. See you guys next time. Bye.